oh, oh, they called me a madman because I've been saying it for months. Not even months. It feels like I've been saying it for years. That WB executives have no clue what they're doing in regards to the DC side of their company. No clue whatsoever. All they know is how to try and make a quick buck. That's it. They don't have the foresight to sit down and plan out a broad, overreaching universe that encompasses the DC characters. And it's a shame. And it's truly a shame that Discovery bought them a week ago. 1 week ago, Discovery purchased. Let me swap over. 1 week ago, Discovery purchased Warner Brothers, and it took 1 week for the CEO of Discovery. What's his name? David Zaslav. It took 1 week for him to get on the scene, look around, and go, none of you should be in charge of this property. I need to find somebody that's going to give this property the love and attention that it needs, like Kevin Feige, so that we can get like the ball moving. 1 week. 1 week? It took my man 1 week to get on the scene, look around at the people that are in charge of DC Comics and go, there's no structure here in any way, shape, or form. You guys aren't working to interconnect your universe. The most recent things, for the most part, have been super popular, but that's essentially because, for the most part, it's not tied to the jumble mess that you're attempting to make. It's in its own little universe, or it's been soft rebooted by people who have experience, like James Gunn, in the form of the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, and even then, those things are contained into like their own universe. So my man was like, no. And I like the fact that, at least in this investors meeting, he was super open about it. We need a Kevin Feige in charge of DC. Abso-fucking-lutely. What is my man's name? Hold on. Passed away. He passed away a few years ago. And I've always said that he would have, in my opinion, been the best person to be in charge of the DC universe. And now I can't find him. And now I cannot find him. The crying shame. Hold on. Over here. No. That's... Dwayne McDuffie. Dwayne McDuffie would have been the perfect person. And if you don't know who Dwayne McDuffie is, let me go and drag. Let me go and drag this over here. So if you don't know who Dwayne McDuffie is, he's this chap. A lot of the shows that you probably watched when you were younger, for the most part, were done by Dwayne McDuffie. He's responsible for Static Shock. He's the one who did What's New Scooby-Doo. He did Justice League as the lead writer. He was the lead writer for Justice League Unlimited. He was the lead writer for Teen Titans. Yes, if you were a kid like me during the late 90s, early 2000s, Justice League Unlimited, and Teen Titans. He wrote all those. Ben 10, Alien Force, Ben 10, all those. He also did Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earth. He was the lead writer for All-Star Superman. Fantastic Superman movie. And then he was also lead writer for Justice League Doom. Another fantastic Justice League movie. Sadly, McDuffie passed away in 2011. And I really feel as though he would have been the best choice to essentially lead the DC landscape, because he had basically the experience to craft all. Remember when you were a kid and you woke up on a Saturday morning and you weren't expecting it, and in the middle of Static Shock, the Justice League showed up, and then all of a sudden on the Justice League, Static was there, and then he was in the future as his older self on Batman Beyond, and then it was referenced when he met his older self when he time traveled because of the Justice League shenanigans. All this stuff interconnected, all the characters having their own shows in multiple different locations, then coming together for the Justice League, then going back apart and going back to their own shows. Dwayne McDuffie was in charge of all that, and he would have been a perfect Kevin Feige. But sadly, he passed away, so we really missed out a chance to have someone who loved and understood the characters and was willing to take risks with the characters that paid off at the helm of DC. But that's a tangent. Going on a tangent again. This is what happens when I sit down and I start talking about just Warner Brothers and their like stupid bullshit. So David I almost messed up his name, Zaslav, he's essentially saying that he wants a Kevin Feige figure in charge of the DC property, because he feels as though the DC property should be the most lucrative property for Warner Brothers, and it's essentially being mismanaged. Now I am really hoping, because I don't think the people in charge are going to remain the ones in charge, at least not from how he's sounding, because right now Walter Hamada is in charge over DC Films. I don't think the new owner wants Walter Hamada to remain in charge, or wants Jeff Johns to essentially continue being in charge. He wants somebody above them who loves all the characters completely, and that's going to be making overarching decisions for where the story is going to be going and how things are going to be interconnected, and how we can work together as a cohesive unit, as a better cohesive unit, in charge of the DC properties. And I fucking love it. Yes, give that to me. Like I said it before, like I think this year is going to be the year of DC Comics. And I truly do stand by that. We have a lot of DC films coming out this year. We have no idea when we're getting the Wonder Woman film, because they haven't talked about that in any way, shape, or form. I'm assuming the Wonder Woman film is coming down the pipe. But last I checked, Gal, if I remember correctly, she's currently pregnant, or she just had a baby. So I cannot see her, for one, starting anything this soon. I don't see the Wonder Woman film starting production this soon, and we haven't heard anything from Patty Jenkins. I still stand by the controversial thing I said a couple years ago, which is Patty Jenkins is horrible for Wonder Woman, and Zack Snyder understands the character far better than she does. Because if you sit down and you think about it, every aspect of Wonder Woman that most people enjoy is what Zack Snyder essentially brought to the table in regards to the character. The second that Patty Jenkins essentially injected her own version of Wonder Woman into the mix, you got Wonder Woman 84 and it was bad. But yeah, I can't wait to see what else type of changes Discovery is going to make. It looks as though they're currently on a hunt for their own Kevin Feige. I love the fact that Kevin Feige has done such a fantastic job with the Marvel properties that other companies basically look at him not as a person and a name anymore, but as a title, which is we need our own Kevin Feige to take control of DC Comics. And you're absolutely fucking right, because the last couple years have been, I can't say it's been all atrocious, because we've gotten some really, really good content, but it really feels as though the animated side of things, which I could rely on for good content and fun, has gotten bad. Like DC's animated department used to be top tier, and the last couple years the DC animated departments kind of went down. I want to see them prop back up again to start putting out some really good content again. The DC TV side of things has been doing fantastic. You may give the Arrowverse a lot of shit for being overly bloated, but that has more to do with the way in which the CW does contracts for how their seasons are stretched out over 21 episodes than the actors and actresses themselves. Because when you get those seasons shrunk into like a 12 episode arc, like let's say Superman and Lois, it's absolutely fantastic. Across the board, 100%. Absolutely fantastic. You can't tell me a 12 episode arc with Grant Gustin and the rest of the Flash cast and a big bad villain wouldn't be way more better than a bloated 22 season, 23 season regular TV show. The reason why The Flash suffers has everything to do with how the CW structures its episodes. The reason why Superman and Lois is doing fantastic has everything to do with the fact that it's not structured to that, so they can tell one cohesive story that just flows directly into the next episode. The movie side of things has been both hit and miss. If it's not connected to the DC universe in any way, shape, or form, it's fantastic. Joker was great, and the reason why Joker was great was because no one had any expectation for Joker, So they were essentially able to do what they want and inject the type of love that they want into it without corporate oversight. The reason why you're probably not going to get a Joker 2 until Discovery takes over completely is definitely because the director and the actors don't want to deal with the corporate bullshit that other people have been dealing with. The original Justice League universe, decent. Loved it until they messed it up. Like, Man of Steel was a great jumping off point. Everything after Man of Steel was essentially hit or miss. Aquaman was a great reset point. Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman movie, also great. The sequel, bad. Do I have hopes for the Flash movie? I'm hoping that it's good. I'm hoping that I'll be able to enjoy it. But then the question also comes in, is Discovery going to hold on to Ezra Miller, or is Discovery going to let Ezra Miller go? We don't know. But yeah, Discovery is essentially making the moves now that they've essentially looked around and decided that the people who are currently in charge of the DC Comics side of Warner Brothers, they ain't doing their job. So it's time to get rid of the ones who ain't doing their job and bring in some new talent that'll be able to foster the DC universe a whole lot better, and I cannot wait. It's funny that this is also a part of that video I made like forever ago where I said that this was DC's year. But yeah, I will catch you in the next one.